in your office. Quit coming up here. All right.
Right.
Let's do this show.
We'll bring you some food.
Here comes everybody. We're going to count it down and kick it off right now in 3, 2, 1.
Duke Nukem for Nintendo 64 and PlayStation.
Who wants some? Hail to the king, baby.
I want some.
Okay.
I want some.
I want a little. Just a little bit, though.
Give me it.
Not a lot. A little.
It's the king.
Well. Hello there, and welcome to Play Retro. I'm one of your hosts, Scott Johnson, and I could have sworn this bar was full of strippers back in the day. Oh, well, at least I have this semi-shirtless beefcake of a protagonist to run around and shoot and kill things. You know, I kind of wonder, are those pig men? Careful. You don't want you don't want the fuzz on your tail. Anyway, Hail to the king or something, and pardon my overly detailed bathrooms.
Oh, they do have some detail that you don't need to see. And I'm your other host, Brian Dunaway. And if you're looking for a dude from the 90s with Ray-Bans and a blonde flat top uttering total nonsense about asses and bubblegum, well, come get some, because this guy is not going to be around forever. Hail to the king, baby.
Whoops, for some reason the music ended when you yelled that. Hail to the king indeed. Today we're talking about everyone's favorite 90s action character from video games that can't seem to catch a break in the 2020s or the 2010s for that matter.
It's almost like his character humor doesn't play well in 2023.
Yeah, it's almost like it's so juvenile and dumb that it's perfectly fine to leave it in the past. But that's what we're here to talk about, is the past. We're going to talk about Duke Nukem, okay? What's happening? Duke Nukem 1, 2, and 3D. And you might say to yourself, wait a minute, weren't they all 3D? No!
Brian learned the hard way as I fired up Duke Nukem 1, and I was like, I must have fired up something wrong. This is not Duke Nukem. This is like Commander Keen or something. What is this?
It is that era for sure. Duke Nukem started out as a 2D side-scroller, and on PCs of all places is where it began, in DOS. And we'll talk about those lowly beginnings, because it became something much, much more, and a big phenomenon for a long time. And then maybe one of the most dramatic delay/falls from grace that we've ever seen in video games.
When you make the Guinness Book of World Records for longest development time for a game, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing something wrong. Yeah.
Although, you're doing it wrong.
Although that record's got to be close to getting shattered by Star Citizen, right?
Well, it's funny that things have they were certainly groundbreaking. Apogee or 3D Realms in this case were certainly groundbreaking with this, but I think modern times are showing something a little different. Things have changed a little bit. Maybe
I wouldn't mind I like Apogee. A throwback. Give me a really ultra violent throwback 2.5D side scroller. Give me that.
Oh
yeah. Oh, see, you're even doing it in his voice.
Hail
you're saying
to
like
the
he'd say,
king.
"Hail to the king."
Right. I mean, I'm no way. I'm available for hire. I mean, I'm not. What's his face? Sir Dirk Diggler. What's his name?
Sir Dirk Diggler. They knighted him. They knighted the guy with the huge wiener.
John St. Jane. I don't know why I want to do that.
Why'd you say Dirk Diggler then? Why?
Because I've been listening to a podcast talking about Boogie Nights. Is that right?
Boogie Nights. Yeah, it's the one that's
yeah. They've been talking about Boogie Nights, and so I couldn't think of a name, and I was just pulling that out.
I can't remember if it was based.
Dirk Diggler did. Was that
based roughly on him, or if it was like hardcore based on him? I don't know the deal.
Based on who's that?
Dirk Diggler and Boogie Nights.
It's based on another pornographer.
Well, right, but his name was. Oh, yeah, right. It was John something.
John Johnson. John Long Johnson.
I don't think that was it. I think you might be on the wrong path there.
Right.
Well, anyway, we're going to talk about that all in a minute. So get your Duke Nukem ready, because we're going to talk about it. Before we do, last week I did a Guess My Game with Return of the King for the GBA. You remember that?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
And I got in quite a mood to keep playing that thing. And I played a ton of Return of the King on the GBA. And I'm here to tell you that game is worth playing even today. So if you're just one of the trillion people who listen to us who went out and bought Ambernicks, perfect for that device.
I love it.
And,
So that's where you're playing that on your little Ambernick
on my little
RG35 XX.
Yep, and it runs fantastically. No issues, no problems. It's basically, it was Diablo for the Game Boy, and it worked really well. And it, had the extra bonus of being a Return of the King, Lord of the Rings themed thing.
I'm trying to remember the Game Boy Advance. What size was the screen? Only 2.5 for that thing, and then
2.5.
I think their Ambernicks are 3.
Yeah, the Ambernicks are bigger, but they're not that much bigger. It's maybe an inch,
not that much bigger.
Half inch,
diagonal
inch.
measurements.
Yeah, but
just like John Johnson.
But the resolution, the 4:3, are they 4:3?
Right.
I don't know if it is, but whatever the Game Boy Advance was, that perfectly translates to the ratio on that device. It's perfect. No problem.
Good.
Doesn't scale weird. Doesn't look chunky. It looks great. Looks fantastic.
I still got to play some more of it.
Yeah. Give it a time. Give it a shot. Poke your head in there.
I always say that, and I'm like,
you got other shit to do.
And what other 30 games are you going to be playing?
Oh my gosh, dude. Tell me about it. Like next week, I got to play Phantom Liberty, the expansion for Cyberpunk, which looks great, and the reviews are already.
I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited. Yeah.
GameSpot gave it a 10 today. IGN gave it a 9.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it looks pretty tight.
So
they're reviewing that expansion, so that's the focus. But they're also reviewing the 2.0, like fundamental sweep through the game. They've changed everything, so they want you to start over. And I'm gonna start a new dude. I did a lady last time. I'm gonna do a dude this time.
I'm going to do a dude this time.
And you know how I know it's a dude?
You heard it right here. Scott said he's going to do a dude.
I'm going to do a dude. Don't take that out of context. I'm sure they won't. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to what that game's bringing to the table right now. So yeah, there's a lot going on. I'm playing Starfield like crazy. Baldur's Gate 3 still a threat. Everything's out there. This is one of the best years in gaming. And here's me and Brian going, I must make time for my old ass video game that I'm playing.
It's so good. We're doing both because I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 on Fridays, and I've downloaded Starfield on my PC and my Xbox. I've yet to fire it up on either one of them.
Oh, well, you should.
And I've also got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that I haven't even looked at.
Yeah, that's supposed to be all right. That's on Game Pass as well. There was another new Game Pass game I grabbed. What was it? Something cool. Shit. Can't remember the name. I can't remember the name. I'll think of it later and tell you because you'll want to play it. It's good.
I want to play it, and I just won't have enough time.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, if you people just would up your Patreon game just a little bit, then I could just quit my day job and I could just hang out with Scott all day.
That's right. Let's me and Brian, we can do more. Forget about solo shows. Forget about solo shows. We'll expand into the next big market, me and Brian.
Yeah, we'll start 8 hours a day, man. Come on. Just replace my 8 hours a day job, and we're doing it. We're doing it.
Speaking of doing it, you've almost bought a StarCraft battle chest for some reason. Why? What were you doing?
So I was at the thrift store today doing my search for VHSs because that's currently what I'm doing. And I came across this. It had it in the case where I couldn't touch it, and I was like,
inside, like behind glass. That's weird.
Yeah, behind like a jewelry case kind of thing with lights and everything. It's a StarCraft battle chest. They had it buried under some other stuff. I'm like, move those other trashy Xbox One games, get those off of there, and let me take a look at that classic.
Don't you already have StarCraft and Brood War, which is what the battle chest is? It's just that in the expansion.
Did I ask you? No. All right, so I'm looking at the StarCraft battle chest because it's the real hardware, right? Because I own it. Yes, I have the digital copies, but
I have the disc somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, this had the disc and the box and everything, and I was like, the manuals and all that stuff, that'd be cool to put on my shelf and stuff. And I was like, that'd be sweet. So
what else is cool? It's got that little chart in there. You fold it out into thirds, and it shows you the hierarchy of all the buildings and what technologies they unlock and what other buildings they unlock. And then on the other side, they have all the units and how kind of the rock, paper, scissors, what to counter and what they do and all that. It's great. Mm-hmm. That thing's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So they wanted $20 for it. Now, that's not a bad price. I've seen it on eBay before, and it's not a bad price. It's a decent price, but I want to make sure everything's in it because the box is a little bit squished. Not real bad, but a little bit squished. So I'm like, let me bring it out. So I had to get some lady to come over, and she's like, get the keys out. And so she unlocks it, and she pulls it out like it's some kind of, and I pick it up, and I'm like, okay, I'm opening it up. I look at it, and I'm like, one of the discs is sitting right on top of all the paperwork. I'm like, okay, let me see. That's that one. I'm like, I looked at it, make sure with no scratches on it, put it in the sleeve. And it had the serial number and everything on there. I put that to the side, and then there's another envelope, and it was empty. I was like, oh no, this envelope is empty.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, oh no. And so I start digging through the box looking. It's like, oh, please be in here at CD. And I'm like, I was like, oh, somebody left their oregano in here. And I keep looking for a CD. I'm like, what is this?
Oregano?
There was a bag of weed in it.
There's a bag of weed in this.
either.
What?
A big old bag of weed, man. I mean,
awesome. What chain was that? What store was this?
It's a large chain thrift store.
Large chain, so secondhand stuff.
Secondhand.
Okay, so it's not like Walmart or Target or some shit like that where you.
No. This is a thrift store. But it's a big one.
That's awesome, dude.
And so at first I picked it up and I was like, "What is that shit?" And I was like, "Whoa, gross!" I was like, "What is this dried up something that's in here?" And then it's like, "Oh, Brian, use your brain," because I'm so focused in on looking for that CD. It's like anything in the way is this. It's just trash. Move it.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, that's
who
weed.
hides their weed in their StarCraft battle chest?
I don't know, but somebody was super sad. You took my stuff. You took my stuff to the Goodwill. Oh, I said the name, didn't I? I took it to the place, the thrift or large chain thrift store.
Yeah, man. Well, here, look, to celebrate, here's this.
You want to smoke some weed?
There you go.
Smoke some weed, but I didn't walk out with it because I said, lady, this is it. I think you need to get rid of this. And so I handed her that, but it didn't have the other CD in it. And I really still kind of wish I'd got it though. $20, even though it's missing one of the discs, it would still have been nice to have. And I may go back.
I swear you can get this.
If my picture's not up somewhere.
You can get these somewhere. I don't know where you can get it. Here,
I'm sure. I'm like on eBay every day, all day. They just want like more money than $20. I mean,
that's true. But also, you got enough weed to pay for the.
That's what I thought. I did a couple of things ran through my mind really quick. Oh, I shouldn't have said nothing. That would have been a good deal.
Yeah.
$20 for StarCraft missing the disc, but with weed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. Oh, you're right.
Like,
these are expensive. Holy crap.
They are expensive. What if I hadn't noticed it was in there? What if I just bought it like I do so often? I don't care. You know, most things are like 50 cents. Like most of the time when I get the videotapes and stuff, I don't even look inside them because they're somewhere between 50 cents and a quarter. I don't got time to be looking to see if it's actually in there. I just grab them. Let's go.
Well, okay.
And,
I found you a deal here. Hold on. So, box is in decent condition. Okay, not that one. This one.
Box is in okay condition. It's a little bit smushed, a little bit crushed, but not terrible.
So this one says that we'll give you the StarCraft Battle Chest for PC Mac from 1998 or 9. Oh, 9 here. Because 98 the game came out, and then later the Battle Pass. $12. That's not bad. Oh, no, another 12 for shipping. F off. F right off.
Yeah, F off. F right on off. Walk on out the door.
Yeah, that ain't great.
No.
Boy,
like I said, $20.
Some of these are crazy expensive.
They're in the showcase. Usually the things that sit in the showcase, they stay there forever. So they'll probably drop the price, but I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? That wasn't really. If it had been complete, it wouldn't even been a question.
Huh. All right. Well, I hope there's a happy ending to your StarCraft Battle Chest story.
There almost was.
Yeah.
Almost was. I was almost holding.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I hadn't looked in the box, I would just had that in my car driving around until some drug sniffing dog came around.
Yeah. Well, don't forget this.
Sir, that's not mine. I don't know how they got in there. I don't know what's going on right now.
Look,
get this off of me.
Don't forget this really important quote from comedian Theo Von. Here you go.
You know, my favorite type of weed was cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't never forget.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Time to talk about Duke Nukem. We'll let him into our lives. Open the door, invite him in like a vampire, and see what he does with us.
Shall we play a game?
Sure. Fire up DOSBox or something equivalent to that, and let's play this weird 2D business that no one knew existed except me. For some reason, I knew it existed. I knew the whole time. In fact, when you brought it up last week, I was like, oh, yeah, of course. This is a great topic for us because 2D roots moved into 3D. The whole story is fascinating, how it got there and where it is today and all that. And you were probably just like, no, it's 3D. It's like Doom. Well,
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, it's just a Doom clone. What do I care?
And you were wrong about this.
I went into this so blind thinking it was a Doom clone. It's really not. It's so much different than that. I mean, I knew about the build engine, but I never put it together with this because I played Duke Nukem 3D way back in the day. And I just really hadn't played much of it since then. And since then I've learned about the build engine. And this week I spent so much time learning about Apogee and who they are and 3D Realms and how all that stuff came to be, and it
yeah.
almost dwarfs the story of Duke Nukem. And I don't want to pass over this classic side-scrolling shooter with a little bit of attitude.
Yeah, a little bit of run and gun. The original sounded like this, so beware your ears, everyone. I mean, you know,
I made that more palatable while I was streaming that this week by firing up the original soundtrack to the Duke Nukem 3D and kind of playing it real low, and it fits really well. So I mean, they've kept the vibe.
Yeah, I agree. They did. And here's the thing, though. Like, nobody knew about this really. I mean, people did. It was a hit as far as like shareware style, you know.
Yeah, what they sell, like, you know, maybe hundreds of thousands, not like something, maybe not even that much, like
it was
70
it was a
100,
pretty
I can't
small
remember.
number compared to like your mainstream releases on PCs and consoles then. But it was enough for people to go, ooh. And then when they built 3D, we'll get to that in a minute, obviously, but you know, they worked with id on modifying the Wolfenstein 3D engine. And
Apogee worked with id on that and distributing it.
Yeah, and it's got, if you go look at all the credits, and Carmack's name's like in there like 5 times.
Yeah.
So they were all up in that. Anyway, let's talk about its beginnings. This is an old ass game. It looks old. It plays old. It sounds really old. This whole thing here, goodness gracious, what a cheese bag bunch of sound effects. But it is what we had. It's as good as we had at the time, and it's what we had, so it's fine.
Well, we were in 91. We were in a glut of platformers. You could find a platformer anywhere, and Apogee decided it'd be a good idea to make something with a little bit different twist and make it have attitude. Right? There's no voice work yet, so you don't hear none of the great Dukeisms.
No, you get some story and some panels and stuff, but it's not. It's not the same as hearing that guy going, "Okay, what's going on?"
Yeah, and this is totally different. I mean, I don't even think they ever revisit Dr. Proton in any of the subsequent things. But Dr. Proton is built some robots and is trying to take over the world. And you're Duke Nukem, and what are you, like, previous CIA or something? So
something
what
like
you
that.
really are is what you really are is just a mashup of all of those 80s action stars.
Yeah, you're Commando, you're Schwarzenegger, you're Stallone, you're John McClane, you know, all that whole late 80s action revival that we got, you know, Predator, everything, all of it. This is that amalgam of that. It's like, hey, what if we mashed this all up into one dude? And it turns out he's a little sexist and a little bit of an asshole.
But what made this game a success, though, is distribution. It was Apogee came up with what was called at the time the Apogee model, which is basically shareware where you release it by chapters. You release the first chapter for free on BBSs, however you can get a copy, a friend, whatever. Doesn't matter, as shareware. And then there's like basically an in-game ad where they try to sell you chapters 2 and 3.
They're basically demos. They were like extended demos, really.
Yes.
Like, it reminds me of you a little, because you used to be
oh my god, this is my jam right here, man. This is what I grew up on. Shareware stuff. Programming games from magazines, because I didn't have a lot of money, and I had, my family didn't really understand my love for computers. My dad did, but he wasn't around as much. He got me really into the computers, but if I wanted a game, I had to find a way. And that way was usually, shareware or, program it yourself or whatever it took. There was no, hey mom, go buy this for me. That wasn't happening.
No, exactly right. It's different now. I don't know. Maybe it isn't different, but kids have so many options now that it don't cost them anything. Like, they can play Roblox, they can play Minecraft, they can play.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Fortnite. I mean, there was a whole summer where people were just Fortniting it for free until they started buying stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody ends up getting tempted and going, "Dad, can I have $10 for the skin I really want?" Like, I get it, but at least the game's there. It's a different model, but it's kind of the same process. When you have expendable income, you just want to go buy a game. But when you're a kid, you're like, "I'll play. What is this? I'll play this. Give me this shit for free."
But or Scott Miller was, he kind of started this whole idea of, or really perfected this idea of the Apogee model. Well, so if you want to say that, if you want to call it the Apogee model, you might as well say Scott Miller made that for sure.
Yeah, he's a legend in this way. In this one way, if you're talking about that era and sharing floppies and shareware as a business proposition, that dude.
Yeah.
He's
That
he's
dude
guy.
rocked. He was making all kind of money. It's really such a foreign idea now, thinking that you would get a copy of Duke Nukem, see the ad, talk somebody into writing you a check,
Mhm.
stick it in the mail, wait for who knows how long, because there's no tracking app. There's nothing to track.
Nope.
You just sent your little check off after you begged your mom, "Please, I gotta play some Duke Nukems," and I gotta get chapter 2 and 3. I'm sure adults also played it, but this would be more of a time when I was a kid. And so I was just trying to think, how in the world could I get Scott Miller, take my money, Scott Miller, and then have Fry write a check? That's the meme.
I mean, this is 91, so I'm like 21. 20,
right,
whatever.
Are you sending checks out to Scott Miller though?
No,
probably not. You're
I'm
probably
definitely
just playing
not.
that first.
You know what it
disc
was? I had this friend named Jason who worked.
Right. Oh, Jason.
He
Yeah.
worked in the back of a computer testing place. Anyway, this guy could get anything you needed.
Yes,
So
we
if
know
you
those
like-
guys, and that's one of the reasons why you saw piracy was a real problem.
Oh,
Right?
it was a much bigger problem then. You didn't have ways to track or to, like you said, or to stop people from doing this stuff.
Yeah.
But back then it was just like, hey, I have this disc. What's on it? The full Duke Nukem. Whoa! Shut up,
Dude, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Let's go. I'm Duke Nukem. By the way, one thing to mention about the screen in the game, the layout. This was also back at a time where if you went full screen with something like this, the computers just could not freaking handle it. The scrolling was hard.
Yeah.
So they would do this trick where you get this little window, not little, but I don't know, 2/3
Smaller
window.
than the full screen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most of the stuff that's being refreshed is in like a window.
Exactly.
Smaller window.
So over you got your score, your health, your firepower, and your inventory. And this over here is what you get. That's how a lot of stuff got away, or we got away with a lot back then by pretending that it was a cool interface choice, putting screws around it, like it got little scratches on it. It's pretty dumb. But it
was a very colorful game, though. I mean, there's very vibrant colors. It's using all the colors that it can, and the model for Duke is fantastic. He looks like a flat top guy. He's got that grit teeth smile, or like teeth showing and stuff.
Yeah,
It's just a really good character design, fun game loop. I found myself playing a lot of this. I love, getting my way through Shrapnel City, jumping over pits and taking out robotics. All the robots are kind of like Dr. Proton. Most of the robots are short, right? They're like knee height.
Yeah.
And which worried me at first because I was like, oh, can I crouch? No, this is before crouching apparently.
Yeah.
And it's like, can I shoot up? No, this is before that too. So
it's before anyone thought of that.
It's just left and right. There's a little bit of Metroid in this thing though, because you have to do a lot of backtracking and there's teleporting. So you're lots of levels. You'll start at the top and you'll kind of platform down. There's no fall damage.
No, you can go. You can fall for very high distances.
Yeah. Duke's got very good knees.
Yeah,
very good knees.
Yeah,
and there's Ed 209 or 4. What is it? 409. What's the Ed 209?
They
see. I'm getting my cleaning fluids.
Hold on.
And my my RoboCop confused.
It's 209 is the.
I think it's Ed 209.
409 is the cleaner. It's the table cleaner.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, how's that guy doing that jump? I've never been able to do that jump. I've never been able to pull that off.
He has special boots.
He does have the special boots. That's right.
So that's the thing to remember about the game. It did one of the innovations was, or at least I didn't feel like there weren't a lot of games with this, but there are power up items. These shoes make them faster, jump higher, get to bigger places, which is very Metroidvania. And the inventory, you could have various things in there. Usually it was keys, but there were other upgrades, and then you had different guns that you could find and use. And I mostly use the one he's got here, this electro thing. This is mostly
the electro thing. That one's pretty good. But you're just going from one place to the next, trying to find the exit and finish all the levels until you get to Dr. Proton, not Professor Proton from the Luigi's Mansion, right? Isn't his name Professor Proton?
Anyway, wait, from Luigi's Mansion.
Is that right?
Shit.
Egad is his name. Dr. Egad? Maybe that's Professor Egad.
I just know there's the whole Mario, and I remember
Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, if you're confused right now and you're going, wait, Duke Nukem, that's a Captain Planet reference.
Oh, wait, what?
I didn't know this. There was a character called Duke Nukem, spelt the same.
What?
In Captain Planet, and they sent a letter to Apogee saying, we think you shouldn't. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think they actually sent a letter, but they did change the name briefly because they were worried, and the lawyer said, no, you're in two totally different spaces. There's going to be no brand confusion. Also, Duke University did send a letter.
Shut up.
Yeah, of just like, you can't do that. That's our.
That sucks.
That's so silly. But anyway, they had to make like an agreement that they would just use. If they reference Duke, it would always be in full name, Duke Nukem. So just in case there's any confusion that you're playing the video game Duke
and not going to a university called Duke University.
But there are footballs in this game for collecting and stuff. So I guess.
Okay.
Could that be a confusion?
Maybe. I think they're whatever. We didn't know what we were doing yet with video game litigation.
Right.
So this would not happen today, but still, that's really stupid. Oh, yeah, there's footballs right there. I see them. Well, that's Nuke Dukem 1.
Oh, we didn't mention the cameras, and then we'll go on. Yeah. There's like this kind of the cameras. You can shoot all the cameras. So this is one of those games that really encouraged you to do one thing all the way to the end, like shoot every camera that Dr. Proton is watching you with.
Yeah,
I kind of dug that a little bit.
Yeah, I like that too. I like completionist stuff
addicted.
anyway, and you feel motivated to do it. My only real complaint about the game now is that it's very, very, very repetitive.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's the era we're in. It's fine.
It's very, I'm like with you, it's very grindy, but they had to extend the gameplay. Man, seeing this like Ed 209 really makes me think of how South Park would do it. Everybody feels very cut out.
Yeah, dude.
Right? Like
a South Park mech. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, kind of love it. And
like you'd want that out of South Park, but not necessarily out of your cool action game.
Out of your Apogee game.
Yeah.
Nice.
I could see that. It's all right. It's a good time. It's not, the most innovative run and gun ever made, but it had personality and would have some follow-ups, including Duke Nukem 2. Yeah, that's right. They just put a 2 in the back of it.
Yeah, just say, why don't we put a 2 after that, and we'll call it a sequel.
Yeah, we'll call that a sequel, and we'll have Duke Nukem run around again, but this time it's going to sound like this. Listen to that.
Yeah, baby. Now they really put some music in. It makes a big difference having some music.
Oh, yeah, and some sound effects. Listen to that. This is because you all had your Sound Blaster Pros by now,
Yeah, get you some, get your Gravis out there. Get your Sound Blaster Pro. Yes.
Yeah, and graphics improved. Although I'm going to make an argument that Duke Nukem's model is not as good as the first game. I think that he's a little less cool in this. I don't like how he looks.
I gotta kind of agree. He doesn't. The model got more pixels, but it's not necessarily cooler, right?
Yeah, it doesn't have the personality that the first game had.
Which is funny.
It is funny. It feels like they,
I think it's the same artist.
It probably is. What's funny about that is like the Duke Nukem 3D plays more on the look of the character in the first game than it does the second.
Right.
Which I think is smart. That's what they should have done. You got to really lean into, I don't know. This guy looks like an accountant. Like this is not Duke Nukem.
I think it's almost the clean cut of the hair. It's just this weird. I can't quite describe it. And I think maybe his lower lip in the first one protrudes more, and here they make his jaw protrude.
Yep.
He's a little more, like you say, he's a little more clean cut. I need him to have a little bit of stubble.
Yeah.
He needs to have a cigar sticking out of his mouth.
Yeah, and a big
Arnold
thick
Schwarzenegger,
neck.
big old.
Yeah. Like the Sarge character in Quake Arena needs to be more like that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a good example.
I feel like that Sarge character was kind of an homage anyway to this. But the gameplay itself is pretty good. I like how this game plays. I think it's an improvement.
I think the
over
gameplay is much more interesting. You run into a lot more things. There's a lot more things on screen. Bad guys. This time you've been abducted by aliens. So no more Dr. Proton. Now you've been abducted by the aliens while you were on the Oprah show for some reason. I don't know why. But you were on Oprah for some reason.
But it wasn't real Oprah though, right? It was like a fake.
It was definitely real. It was definitely meant to be Oprah. If you watch the whole opening movie, he is like
it's 100% taken from that, but they don't say they don't say her name.
I'm trying to remember. I think they might have said it in the documentation. So these are DOS games. So you don't get like in shareware that. So you don't get like manuals. You don't get like a physical manual. You usually get like a README file on a disc. And it seems like I read the README file, and it seems like they said something directly about that. I may be wrong.
I'm gonna find out.
Oh, he's back. That's right. So that's the opening movie.
It's so it doesn't look right. He looks like he's got the wrong hair.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's Duke Nukem 2. Yeah, that's right. We got the newscaster. It gets very dramatic. We got writing this time around. Needing to write the first time, really.
Oh yeah.
I forgot he wrote a book too. Don't
he
forget
wrote
that,
a book. I'm saying they just
he
showed
wrote a
him
book.
at the talk show, and it looks like
There's Oprah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like her.
He's wearing like a gold chain. I love it. Shirtless and a gold chain. And he's abducted by what are those things called? They're the, I forget what they're called. Anyway, the Regalians or something. I can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
But anyway, Duke is not having it. He's not having it. No, sir.
His art is ridiculous.
The art is ridiculous, and it's lovely, and it is the next step. I mean, it's a pretty big step. It's a pretty big step in 2 years.
No disagreement there. It's like I don't know how to explain it.
I think you'd probably be let's see, 90. So you would be in Windows. What was it, 93?
93 would have been Windows
3.1
still 3.1.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. DOS.
So yeah,
it's probably still a DOS game if I had to guess.
It's definitely still a DOS game.
Yeah.
They may have released it later, but both of these games kind of went on for a while. All these games, they don't just come out and then they just have like a single run.
Yeah.
And then they never, publish them anymore.
Well, plus 3.1 was just a shell anyway. It wasn't really a.
No,
3.1 was like a DOS application
concept.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a big deal. I played this one back in the day as well, and it was. Right
I like
after...
this one though. With you, it kind of reminds me of. It's grittier and darker, more like Splatterhouse was. A lot of things exploding, a lot of things dripping and oozing this time around. You got like acid slime dropping down on top of your head, and more power-ups, more crazy weapons.
Yeah.
Of course, the music makes a big difference. So much difference. I can't get over how much sometimes I get so put off by games that are just beeps and boops.
Yeah, I don't want beeps and boops for too long.
No.
Yeah.
No, the cameras are back again, but we got lasers this time, which can't blow up.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I also like that they've got some nice added touches, more attitude. Like there's like idle animation in certain things when you're interacting. I think that's the easy, medium, hard difficulty thing too. I don't think there's any type of selection of the first one. Oh, but those stupid monsters, because since you're on a spaceship, essentially, there's other alien beings locked up in cages and stuff, and some of them they'll swipe at you and hit you. And man, keeping your health up, not easy.
No, not as easy as it should be.
No,
you should be able to keep your health up without having to fight that fight.
Yeah. Was this the one that had was it Megadeth that did the Duke Nukem song? Was that later? Was that?
Hold on a second. Duke Nukem by Megadeth did a Duke Nukem song. Hold on.
I think Duke Nukem references Megadeth in one, and then Megadeth references Duke Nukem in a song. Isn't that right?
Here it is. It's an album called Risk.
Yeah.
Megadeth Duke Nukem HD. What is this? Okay, I'm going to try to see what this looks like without getting in trouble. Can I play a little of this? Let's see.
Just a little snip.
A taste. Okay, it's kind of.
I like how you play it so low.
Actually, it's coming up on its own. It's part of the song.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so la 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 la. YouTube bots. Oh, it's the actual Duke Nukem theme.
Yeah, it's the Duke Nukem thing. That's right. And they even use like sound clips from 3D. But I think in 2 is when I think Duke Nukem makes some references to Megadeth, but I can't remember the whole story. Or maybe they just didn't have anything to do with it all, and I'm just totally wrong.
Yeah.
But Duke Nukem is important in Apogee's history because this is what broke, I think, finally broke Scott Miller and Todd Rapolgi. How do you say it? Rapogel. I'm sure everybody gets it wrong. He's the designer.
Yeah.
And George Broussard. I think this is part of what broke them. Id, who did Quake, Doom, and Castle and Wolfenstein, Command King, all that stuff. Anyway, they had an on and off again relationship with Apogee, and Duke Nukem 2 came out a week before Doom hit.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's not good.
I think everybody, no, it's not good.
Yeah.
I think everybody felt at Apogee that they were like lagging behind. It's like, oh no, because Doom changed everything. Everything's going to be 3D going, pretty much forward. I mean, there was already Castle Wolfenstein, but not like Doom.
No,
Doom was just so fast, right?
Yeah, next level
It was
stuff.
it changed first-person shooters completely, and I think this is what broke these guys because they immediately popped back, with working as fast as they could to get a Duke Nukem 3D out almost as fast as they could.
Yeah, they had to haul ass on that.
And they had some success, and then things happened.
Yeah. Now that build engine, my understanding is the build engine for 3D was taken or was tweaked, a tweaked version of the Wolfenstein engine. Do I have that wrong?
So
or am I thinking of something else?
That's a good question. I didn't quite get the full story here. That's why I want to go back and learn more exactly about Apogee. There's a deep dive on Ken Silverman's build engine. He was working for Apogee at the time, and Carmack was enamored with he says this guy was amazing because Ken Silverman at this time was like 18, 19 years old, working on the build engine. He saw what they were doing with the Doom engine, and he wrote his own thing. And it is an amazing engine for his time, easily rivaling stuff that was going on with the Doom engine. And
I still think it looks cool. It still looks great.
I was really shocked this week when I went and looked at it. I'm like, wow. It still renders really well. It is really fast. And
it's weird how well, like almost, I don't know. I can't explain it. It almost feels like a parody someone put out today.
Yeah. 2.5D is what the Doom engine and basically it means 2D sprites in a 3-dimensional world.
Right.
And here comes 3D Realms, or aka Apogee's name split separation, so that that you're getting the latest stuff from 3D Realms and not the old school Apogee, right? We gotta present a new face.
Right. And that's what they did. And it took the world by storm. That game sounded like this. Some fidelity.
This looks really good. You gotta have.
I don't know why that's so loud. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Well, it's Duke Nukem is why it's loud.
Yeah, that he can't get away from it.
The one you're looking at is really good. It is really smooth. That's not what you would have probably had. And that's probably not your experience you would have had.
This right here, I believe this is. No, this is the DOS. This is the DOS one.
But it's using some later on rendering technology. It's not using the early what you probably had in your machine in Windows 95, unless you had some 3D effects stuff.
Well, they definitely had. They had. That was the thing. The game was a mix of polygons, because we're talking at this point post Quake. Right.
Well, yeah.
Quake 1 was out in '96. This game same year.
Burn.
So I think some of this is like, hey, these walls and some of these world objects are 3D objects that are textured. The gun in the guy's hand and his arm, that's 2D. Your enemies are all sprites. 2D, rotating 2D sprites.
Yep. Like your Dooms.
So I think it's like a hybrid. I could be wrong.
I think there's walls and stuff. Now, one thing that the build engine could do that makes this a lot better than Doom is, first of all, so many destructible objects on screen. And then on top of that, you have stackables. You can stack things. You can have multiple levels on a building. Unlike, oh boy, that thing is so scary. I swear, looking at 2D sprite rendered enemies is just still terrifying.
Something about them, the way they move. They're really unsettling. They always have been.
Yeah.
I agree with that. There's that Proteus game that you can get on Game Pass and Steam and stuff.
Right.
That game is on purpose looking old, and it has an option to turn on 3D enemies if you want, but the default are these sprited up dudes. It's a new game, but they've made them all spritey.
Interesting.
They're way freaking scarier as sprites. Way more.
Is this the Atomic version by chance?
Yes, this is Atomic.
Oh, okay, so this is the Atomic version. This is a later one. Yeah.
I thought this came out same year. No, was it later? Later.
It could have been same year, but it wasn't at release. The Atomic Edition carried more things. I think it had the whole, because once again we're at the shareware model again, right? So we're releasing parts.
Right. I'll see if I can find some footage from like day one. Let's see here.
That's because what I played was day one. It was trash.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it. It was super fast though. I forget how fast like Doom and Quake the first Quake. Quake 2 got so much slower, and it was noticeably slower. It was still fast, way faster than 3. But we forget there was a time when, man, I mean, you just moved.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, you were maybe getting
with
20
supernatural
frames,
speed.
maybe 20 frames per second back in the day.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one I played.
Oh yeah, speaking of
sexy.
Speaking of the booby ladies, yeah, the game's famous for having a bunch of scenes with very scantily clad women, and in the Atomic version and subsequent re-releases, they got rid of all that, and people were pissed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that about
people
the
were
Atomic
mad.
version. I thought it was some. Oh, I'm mad now just hearing about it. I'm like, don't take away my art.
They're mad because it was exploitative, and it was, but whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that, but they took all the booby ladies out, and now it's just like people in bikinis, I think.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, since I've lived, the life I've lived and how long I've lived and the things I've seen, I've already got to be a dad. There's a time when I was much more prudish. It's like, this world needs to be a little bit more conservative because my kids are here and they're trying not to look at boobies. But as I get older, and it's like, now that I don't have kids really to worry about as far as that kind of stuff goes, I'm like, is it really
you just want to look
that
at
big
big
of a
old
deal?
milkers now.
Right? Isn't it any worse than shooting things and killing them and bleeding and everything else? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Probably not. I think killing stuff's way worse than a booby.
Right, that's way worse than a booby. I mean, and then Spielberg tried to take away our guns that were aimed at Elliot and E.T. and come on.
That was so stupid. Oh, by the way, Duke Nukem
exist.
Duke Nukem just saw himself in a mirror. That was also really
yeah.
cool back then because nobody was doing that. That was cool.
Nobody was doing that. That's that build engine for you, baby.
Yeah.
Ken Silverman and his build engine looks really good. If you never played any other games like that, like I don't know, how about a little bit of Redneck Rampage?
Oh, Redneck
also
Rampage, baby.
Yeah, it's the interplay, but it uses the build engine licensed out. Man, it was an exciting time. We talked last week just briefly about what Unity is doing, but it was such an exciting time for new 3D engines during that time. We had Unreal, we had Quake, then Quake 2, and we had the build engine. Just so many exciting ways to present games.
Well, when Unreal came out, I mean, I don't think they had any idea then that they would become, the most licensed engine in the history of gaming.
Right.
But
right.
they were for its time, such a powerhouse demonstration in the original Unreal that I think some of that and id Tech both made it hard for these guys to keep up. Because as cool as Duke Nukem 3D was and as successful as it was not Doom money. It was definitely not Quake money, and it was certainly not Unreal money. And so I feel a little bad.
Unreal money.
I feel a little bad because I just feel like they could have been they could have been a third wheel in the engine wars.
Yeah.
And they were for a hot minute in this 2D 2.5D world. They were for very little time, but then I don't know, got away from them. It's a bummer.
Yeah, poor old Apogee. But like I said, I really think Duke Nukem 2 released in the week before Doom. I think it really shook everybody, and Duke Nukem Forever, which we're just going to talk about just for a real quick second, because it started production like 96, 98. I mean, it pretty much started immediately after
98
was released.
Supposedly 98 was the year that it got in earnest. They had started work on a new game, and then it went from scrap it, start again, new developer, new engine, new this, new that, over and over and over. Yeah,
we're starting with the Quake 2 engine. No, we're not, because it's not ready. So we got the Quake engine. Then then it was like the Unreal Engine, and then it was like it just kept on.
But then it's like, hey, we're at E3 and we're showing off the latest thing. It's in the licensed Quake 2 engine. Check it out, pretty rad. And then I don't know, a month later, you're like, oh yeah, they scrapped it. They moved on to something else.
Apogee went through their entire all the profits that they made. This game was pretty successful. The one we're talking about, this Duke Nukem 3D, it was pretty successful. They made a pretty good bit of money off of it. Obviously more than 20 million, and they burned through every bit of that for Duke Nukem Forever, and wasn't good, man. It wasn't good.
No, that's a whole other story. I would love like a documentary one day on that.
We need to cover that completely. Like I said, I got hung up because I was having fun playing Duke Nukem from 1, 2, and 3D. 3D was a little bit of revisit for me. That was the first one I played. I didn't play it. I don't remember a whole lot about it because there was a lot of new things coming out, like Doom, Quake, and everything else. It was just like unreal. All that stuff was like vying for my attention. And while this was interesting, I found stuff like Shadow Warrior and stuff like that a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Even though the voice work on this is superb. That's what made this game stand out. Was the voice work and just bringing that. I don't want to compare it unfavorably. How's this? In my retrospective view, he reminds me more of Johnny Bravo, but that's not where it would have come from.
Right.
But that in my mind now, I kind of shuffled stuff around and said, where's Duke Nukem coming? Where's it go? Okay, kind of right here in between Doom and Johnny Bravo.
This character archetype was definitely a 90s amalgam that showed up in more than one place.
Right.
And Johnny Bravo more like I don't know, he's more like Elvis than anything, but he was still kind of.
He really is, but he still had that bravado, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's where it comes from. So he had that, So
I assume that's where it came from. Here's a couple of lines. I didn't cap too many, and there's tons of them out there. You can go find them on YouTube, just all his stupid lines. But here's a couple of them.
Call me now for your free whipping.
All right, that's a good one. How about this one?
I'm an equal opportunity ass kicker.
Yeah, that's what I do.
That's what I do.
What's his
I
name?
love it. It felt good to
What's
have
his
your
name again? I don't
like-
remember his name. Remind me his name.
Oh, John St. John.
John St.
is
John,
the
that's
voice.
it.
Yeah, the voice actor. And like we had other little blips and bloops of noises in the other games and stuff for voice acting, but Duke definitely had the strongest personality of all of the heroes you would be playing or anti-heroes you'd be playing these games. So
And Doom had no like character voice other than death sounds.
no.
Or Wolfenstein was Brujo,
Right.
Nine,
No,
Mein Leben, that kind of stuff.
Right. Yes. But I love that. I mean, like the Hell to the King, baby. Like I said at the top, that's like after you like blow up an alien or something, you'll get the Hell to the King, baby, and it's just like. But he's always saving babes and babies and a lot of babe talk.
Yep, babes. He loved the babes.
Yeah.
Real
Love the
quick,
babes. Did
John-
you ever do any modding on this one? I mean, I did a good bit of Quake
Never.
modding, but I
only did
never
Quake
got
and Doom.
into-
I made my own Doom levels, my own Quake levels. Never did anything in the
Right.
Duke 3D stuff. I don't know why. It seemed like then it was harder to do the editor or something. There was some reason why it was more impenetrable.
Right.
For your average.
Did you
dummy.
turn the lights off and on a lot when you were in the? I love to turn the lights on and off in the Duke Nukem for 3D.
Dude, they love that game. Loves having a room that's dark, and you go in there and
with no
shoot shit.
switches, and you got to like, what does switch do? Tick, tick, tick,
Yeah.
tick. I don't know what this is doing.
Not exactly my favorite part of those games, to be honest. They freak me out. But no, in Doom, we were tinkering around all the time with our own wads. They call them our own wad
it was
files.
so easy to get the wads. See, I don't know anything about if the build-in uses WAD or anything. I don't know that.
I'm sure it's got its own version, probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Real quick here, here's some other voices that John St. John did. Okay. He was Dwight T. Barnes in as well as various other characters in Marines in Half-Life Opposing Force.
Oh, okay.
He was the voice of Big the Cat in Sonic Adventure, truly the greatest character in Sonic history, Big the Cat.
Right.
Sonic Heroes, Trash Man, General Warthog, and other characters in Twisted Metal 4.
Oh, okay. We probably might have heard of them.
We probably
yes,
did.
Okay.
E102 Gamma in Sonic Battle, and the announcer for Sonic Advance, a bunch of other Sonic stuff. Let's see. Chrome Speed Force, don't remember that.
I would have loved if you had been the Duke Nukem voice for Captain Planet. That would have been this great crossover world that would have really blown my mind.
Yep. He claims here. Oh, that's interesting. In 2019, took the role of Postal Dude for Postal 4, No Regrets. Interesting.
We're gonna do Postal one day. That's coming.
He announced in 2019 he is now St. John. John St. John is now an ordained minister named John St. John.
You've been ordained, baby.
Yep.
I'm going to give you an ass whooping straight to
Right.
heaven.
I'm all out of ordaining.
If I went to his church and he's up there going, let us now open to Ecclesiastes chapter, whatever, I'd go.
Call me now for your free whipping.
I just like a
Nice.
speaker over my head and just go,
Yeah.
was this you? Was this you? Anyway.
Oh, I love it. I love
He also did a bunch of TV stuff. He was in he's a commercial announcer for a New Kids on the Rock episode.
Oh, okay. So like a take on New Kids on the Block.
I don't know what the
Interesting.
hell that is. He's also, let's see. Well, those are all games. He hasn't really done much since.
Why does he need to? He's
Well, I
sitting
guess-
on the he's sitting on the Duke Nukem 3D residuals.
I guess so. Sure. Dude Bro 2. It's not out yet.
Dude, bro, too. We need this.
He plays John Dude Bro. Boy, he's really not locked in the Dude Bro thing vibe, right?
He really hasn't.
Yeah. Well, good to him. Good for him. Good luck. To
We
him.
know we talked about now in Duke Nukem 3D with the build engine and stuff. You can also do like little mini game kind of stuff. Like you can play a little bit of pinball in there. I think isn't that or pool? Is it pool? I thought you could play the pinball one, which is the balls of steel.
No, there's pinball stuff.
Yeah, we talked about the pinball episode. We talked about the balls of steel Duke Nukem. So we've heard John St. James before, right? John St. John.
John St. John.
James.
If I was John St. John, I'd change my name to something else. It's dumb. Like if your name, you know what? His parents are to blame. If his last name is St. John,
right?
Fine, but don't name him John.
Because it's John John. If you take the Saint out of there, it's John John.
Yeah, John John. Are you here? John John calling John John. Stop.
John John.
Stupid.
John with no H in the first part and H in the end.
Yeah, I don't love
that's what he has to say. He has to explain it. He has to like spell it out.
Yeah, I don't love it. And it was that 20th anniversary, by the way, of the game of 3D that got the Atomic Edition, which added three new additional enemies to the 12 recurring enemies you had in the first game.
Yes,
and that 3D thing was added.
I love the fact that you can, because I was worried at first when I started playing. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be like how I had forgotten that the first Doom unmodded had no mouse look.
Yeah,
and when
none.
I played it, I was like, oh God, is this going to be this? No, this is the build engine. I can look up relatively anyway. And it's good because it also does the little aim up thing. So if somebody's on like a half a level up from you, you can, if you walk into the room, it'll like auto aim. Also, the game started off with none of the with the crosshairs. I can't do a first person shooter without a crosshair.
You got to have crosshairs. Yeah.
Are you a badass? I'm not a badass.
I'm not a badass. No. Well, also his guns are off to the side in Duke Nukem, whereas Doom's were right down the center. So you kind of had a down sights thing, but not really. I don't know. Doom.
Right.
I played Doom with arrow keys and space bar. So right hand's controlling movement, left hand is hitting spacebar for shooting. What the hell were we doing?
I don't know. I played
that was some bullshit.
I played all these games this week. I had the Steam. I knew I was going to play Duke Nukem 3D, so I went ahead and just said, you know what? I'm just going to play it on my Steam Deck all the way through. So I played the first 1 and 2, and you could set it to use. I think it uses RetroArch, and you can set it to use. You could use the controller or the D-pad movement, and I did everything I needed to do. Everything I needed to do. It acted like I think it was a 2-button joystick, I think is what it was set to for DOS.
Yeah,
so
that sounds
pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know. At the time it seemed fine because it's all I knew, but when Quake came out, I had to relearn everything.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, there was a whole conversation. There was like people were coming up with new ways and new systems. I don't remember what the guy's name was, but I remember in the back in the day, it was a big deal to be using WASD. That was unheard of. You didn't use
huge
WASD, right?
Gigantic shift for people.
Yeah.
Like we were not ready for that. We were like, "Are you kidding? There are arrow keys right here. What are you talking about?"
Wait, you're blowing my mind right now, telling me that I can use the normal part of my typing keyboard.
Yeah,
it's control. No, I can't do it.
If I could go back in time, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to take this. I don't know what brand my keyboard. I have a big mechanical keyboard on my PC, and the WASD keys are higher and raised and have red on top and like texture on them and all this stuff. I want to take that back in time and just go to my old Doom friends and go, look at this shit. Look what we're going to be doing.
Look at the hell I can do. Look at this.
And look at this mouse with like 8 new buttons on it and a middle thing and no ball. Yeah. Look at this thing with a laser in the hole.
It's a laser. There's a laser on the bottom. And where's the wires at?
I would love to do that. People always want to go back in time and kill Hitler or whatever they want to do. I want to go back and show off weird tech to my friends back when it was unheard of.
I think about that from time to time, and I also do the same. Then I think, okay, let's flip that around. What if Future Brian came back and brought me some weird ass technology? Would I be impressed or be like, what the hell are you doing with your life?
I never thought of it that way. But that really flips the
What-
script, doesn't it? I don't like that.
Right? Yeah. What if Scott Johnson from 2045
Yeah.
shows up and he's like, "You won't believe what the hell I got. What the hell are you doing here, dude?
out. Hold on, let me unhook my oxygen before
You're
I show it
definitely
to you.
you're definitely gonna be thinking about time travel and a million other questions before you're worried about the technology that Scott brought back in time to show off, right?
Yeah, no, basically guaranteed.
Right.
So now that you
It's
said
like-
it that way, I have changed my mind. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that because it'd be really freaking him out, man.
Yeah.
Freaking out young
Plus,
Johnson.
if it was ever possible, I would have done it by now. I swear.
That's right.
That's how we
Would've
know
done it
time
totally.
travel doesn't work, is somebody would have done it.
That's always what I'm thinking too. And I'm like, but then of course is the argument that we'll eventually set up time police, and we won't let that happen. It's
Yeah, but even if we have time police, someone's going to F up. I mean, remember that?
someone's gonna F up on purpose, right?
Remember Time Cop and the whole like don't touch
I
each
love
other?
Time Cop.
The Time Cop's great.
I love Time Cop.
I'm a
It's great,
fan.
Great movie
Yeah, I'd watch that right now. We did a film sec
on
that a long time ago.
VHS. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have it on VHS. But there's your look at Duke Nukem in the way it came. Now, there were these PS1 N64 games. Also Game Boy Color game. The Game Boy Color game's actually okay. It's
The Game Boy Color game is really interesting. You may not have ever played it. Duke Nukem for the Game Boy Color from 1999.
Yeah.
I did check that one out. It's an interesting take because it's much more cartoony, which is good because the screen is smaller and so the sprites are larger and they're a little bit a little more chibi, even though the 2D stuff on Duke Nukem was kind of, chibi to begin with.
Yeah.
Short, fat kind of idea.
Right.
And I really enjoyed the story and the humor and the big chunky graphics and the
It's a return
and
to
the sprite animation is
yeah.
killing me.
But it's also a
Yeah.
return to those early games, and we weren't getting that anywhere else. This was it.
No, and the character designs were so freaking amazing. Look at those aliens. The aliens actually look like Saturday morning cartoon aliens or something. They're just
They're pretty good.
amazing. You got Gib Jibs
Yep.
flying around everywhere.
Yep.
It
Better than
really
the old ones, because
is.
the old ones version of Jibs were like glowy balls. They sucked. This is more jibby.
That was like what you had, like radiation or something for your gun or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, this is a really interesting take. I like this one a lot. I was with you though. You said the PS1, the N64 games.
They're bad.
Was it third person?
Yeah, it's all behind the back. It's 0 hour, I think, or Time to Kill on PS1, 0 hour on N64. That's what it was.
Right.
N64
And they're
version.
Fine. They're true polygonal character. They still got real polygon 3D stuff, but
They look like
it
ass.
loses it loses a lot of its personality because Duke plays best in large open environments. And since you're doing polygons and early 3D, everything is like subterranean, and it's just I didn't care for it.
I mean, this N64 game, and people
as
looking at
much.
this right now are going, boy, that's a slow frame rate. No, this is what the game ran at. It was like 12
it's
frames
very
per second.
slow.
It's horrible.
And yeah.
Horrible.
I don't know. I tried to think of a way. I'm like, what if this was my only Duke Nukem experience? I was trying to think, could I appreciate it? I want to go back and play them.
If you were some kid, yes. If you're an adult now, no. like when you're a kid, you forgive a lot when you're a kid, right? You're just like,
Right.
whatever, this is rad. Don't tell me anything else. It's just cool, and that's all I care about. Like, there are going to be adults who look back on Roblox and go, what the frick were we doing in there? That is garbage. But at the time, they don't care about that. So, yes, somebody somewhere got this for Christmas and loved it. And it wasn't me, dude. Freaking,
It wasn't you. Like I said, I didn't play it. I just watched a few video clips. I just didn't have enough time to also visit this. But I'm interested. It's certainly intriguing.
It's garbage.
I'll hit it some other time.
Such a bad game. Don't play it.
Don't play it. Okay.
Well, do whatever you want. And then, Duke Nukem Forever did finally come out. It hasn't been that many years since. What was it, 2013 or something? 14?
Yeah, 2015. I don't know. Something like that. It was in development hell for 15 something plus years or something.
It was a long time. It was Gearbox finally who did it, and it was roundly panned by everyone as being a very bad game.
Well, I mean, you can't swap game engines and have to redo assets and keep the same core Duke Nukem attitude from the mid 90s and release it in the mid 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
It just ain't gonna play well.
What's
because
funny,
it doesn't like a game that's been being developed for 15 years, because it wasn't. It was a game that had been in development hell for a long time, But every time they restarted on the new engine, it was basically like starting over, right? I mean,
Right.
yeah.
It says here, let's see, what year was this put out? I'm trying to see the Steam. Okay. Oh, 2011. All right, so here's what it says.
Wow, it's even older than I thought.
Yeah. Here's what it says. The best review on here that I can find says it's the kind of game that you know is bad, but you still play and enjoy it. so maybe that's about as a ringing endorsement as you're going to get for that game.
I remember playing it and being the same as everybody else, underwhelmed, and I just really didn't ever revisit it. And I was a little bit hurt at the time.
Yeah,
it's like everybody else is like, every couple of years they would come out and go, "Hey, no, seriously, we're gonna do the Duke Nukem forever. Seriously, no, seriously, we're gonna get it out there."
Well, what was crazy about it is this was published anyway. Well, the developer was Gearbox, so not just published. It was made by the guys who were making Borderlands, and those were huge hits. Borderlands 1 and 2 were gigantic
fresh
hits.
Unique.
So everybody thought, oh, well, if Gearbox is doing this, maybe this will be okay. No, it's not okay.
Gearbox was just picking up the football that had been fumbled, for over a decade.
Yeah, but they started over. They kept the name, but they started over, like whatever you can call the story. They changed all that. The mechanics are different. It's not good. Don't play Duke Nukem forever. It'll be a waste of your time. I'm just saying. It really is bad. Although it is verified on Steam Deck, so there's that.
It is verified on Steam Deck.
Yeah. So if you have to, I guess.
If you got to. How
is this game $19 still? Jeez. Or the Forever Collection, $39.95.
Scott Miller needs something because I don't know if it gets any. So I think what happened, like Gearbox took over 3D Realms, which was a part of Apogee, but I think Apogee is still its own thing. And recently, what's the name of the company that's been buying her body up to get rid of
that's Embracer Group, and they're
Embracer Group.
They're
going to
dump.
So
they're dumping these guys, or they're dumping not dumping. They're putting them up for sale.
Right.
Not closing them, but putting them up for sale. They want like 1.9 million or billion out of them. They'll probably get something close to that. I don't know who's going to buy it. I don't even think Microsoft wants Gearbox, if I'm honest.
I mean,
what do they have going?
I love Duke Nukem, but it's the thing of his time. I just don't know.
They got Borderlands. All they have is Borderlands. That's not worth 1.9 billion.
That's a good get, but still.
I shouldn't say that's all they have. They publish other stuff, but whatever. So there you go. Duke Nukem. Play it at your own risk. All right? But enjoy whatever you play. Do whatever you want.
Destroy it.
Brian and I are going to play a little Guess My Game. Oh, you know what? I never did download yours because I didn't have the. By the time I got to the notes, you hadn't put it up yet, but I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, because you started early this week. I guess I got to start even earlier.
No, you don't have to do anything. I was just trying to get ahead of myself so you weren't waiting for me. But
no, that's good. That's good.
Let me make sure we're good on the file. Let me crank the volume just a tad. Here we go. Okay, let's play Brian's and mine. I'll start. Brian, mine is from the year 1994. My audio. And you're going to try to guess what game this is from, since I didn't explain how the game works. You can ask 3 questions. I can give as many hints as I want, or not, but we're trying to, compete, so we probably won't give you too many. 1994.
1994.
PC.
DOS.
Yep,
okay.
DOS PC. All right.
So 1 year, before Windows 95, but after Duke Nukem 2 and Doom is in full force.
That is the zone we are in, for sure.
All right.
Here you go.
I like that.
Pretty good, right? That's the logo for the company. So memorable to me. I hate that sound though. That shoo thing.
Yeah.
They use that in. Here we go. Here's some actual action. Hold on. Let's skip ahead. Any guesses or questions?
Real familiar. This is real familiar. I'm going through my Rolodex of games that would have been out in 94 because I actually was into DOS gaming by 94.
Oh, really? It's a good time to know it then.
Give me some more.
I'll give you another hint just for fun.
No, well, I guess I can start guessing. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll just say that Apogee was also involved in this.
Okay.
If
All
that
right.
helps.
So Apogee was involved. So it's probably another shareware thing. Shareware was all the things back then. So so they were probably publishing it, right? So was Apogee publishing? That'd be my first question. Is Apogee publishing it
Apogee published it and
but not developed?
Also developed it alongside a company called Night Dive Studios.
Oh, Night Dive Studios. Okay.
Oh, that's not true. Night Dive Studios made a version, did a port of it later called Ludicrous Edition. So it's not. They weren't. Apogee was 100% there day one.
Ludicrous Edition.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Ludicrous, the rapper. Just kidding. Not really.
Luda. All right. First person shooter.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's your first question. Or second?
Second question.
Okay.
First person shooter. Apogee.
I played multiplayer on my LAN. If that helps you.
That noise. That's what's tripping me up. I know that sound.
Someone in the chat
is it?
knows. Don't look there, but someone knows. If I wasn't already sending the person,
was it developed on the build engine?
No.
Is it a build engine?
No, and in fact, I now understand why I screwed up, because while I was researching this is the game that was based on a modified Wolfenstein 3D engine that what's his name directly helped them with.
Okay.
John Carmack. Carmack says, "Yeah, I'll do whatever you need," and he's in the credits.
Shoot.
So that's the game I was thinking of earlier when I was saying it was I get confused with the build engine all the time. But this game took Wolfenstein 3D,
right,
and added the whole thing.
Now I'm trying to remember what we said on, because we did an episode. I played it for the first time, Hexen, not too long ago when we did it on the show, but I don't recognize that sound as being the thing that was getting me into Hexen. It's definitely not Shadow Warrior, right? You know, messing with Low Wang or anything like that.
No, you're not messing.
You
know, messing with Low
You
Wang.
know, messing with Low, because you said it wasn't the build engine.
No,
that's build engine, I think.
They're still making those. Those are
right.
New
And then there's
games of that.
The only one I looked at this week, I looked at all of them. The only one I looked at was the Rise of the Triad.
Oh shit! Hold on.
Is that it?
Ding! Rise of the Triad. Congratulations.
It's a build engine game. Maybe it wasn't then.
That is a Wolfenstein 3D modified engine from id Software.
Okay.
By the way, this was supposed to be a game called Wolfenstein 3D 2: The Rise of the Triad.
That's right. Rise. That's. I do remember that, because they were going to make a sequel.
Yep.
I remember reading about this. They were going to make a sequel.
Yep.
And they ended up id and them fell out.
Yep.
And so they didn't want to drop all the development stuff, so they redid everything, because they didn't want to get sued, because they were getting left and right lawsuits.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
And this had a capture the flag multiplayer mode that was great.
That's right. I never played it.
Oh, it's so good.
Rise of the Triad.
Rise of the Triad was awesome. We called it ROT.
ROT.
ROTT.
Yep. Love it. It's like Rat.
Yeah. So we were like, dude, you want to play ROT this weekend? We're going to play some ROT this weekend. Rat the band?
Quick. Yeah, quick. Give me your favorite Rat song, because I can't ever think of it.
Oh, there's only like 3. How about let me do one. Round and round, something with it, gave it time. That one.
Round and I had a Rat audio tape too. It seems like, what did I have? Which one was it?
It was probably the one with the hot girl on the front.
Round and round was probably the one.
Do you remember the hot girl on the front? Because that's the reason I bought that record. She was so freaking pretty.
I think it was the Rides for Free. Was that the one that I remember having the album?
Well, let's find out.
Right. Yeah, nobody rides for free. I think that was
Rat. Let's see.
The
one with the girl on crawling around by the vent. That's the one I always think of. That one's called Out of the Cellar.
Boy, I bet you there's a lot of people who haven't thought about Rat in like 6 million years. Invasion of Your Privacy. That was the.
Oh, that's with the girl, and she was dating the lead singer at the time.
That's right.
She's such a Betty still. Look at her.
She's such a beast.
We used to call girls we thought were cute, especially like
some Betty's.
We called them Bettys.
Like based on Betty Page, right? That was our little.
Oh,
thing,
I don't know.
Right?
Was it? I just did it because it sounded good. I have no idea.
That's how that all went down. But my memory is not the best when it comes to mid 80s.
Dang
stuff.
it! I thought she was something. Anyway,
right?
She was and is.
Yeah. Wait, we've got to channel Duke Nukem during the Duke Nukem episode. If we don't,
yeah, a little
what's
bit.
the point?
Yeah, we got to be a little sexist. Come on. I mean, whatever. She's just attractive. They were selling, and I was buying. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I was buying that rat, baby.
I bought some rat for that. Anyway, that's you did good.
That was yours. So, that was okay. So I got yours.
Yeah, you got mine. Now let's see if I can get yours. Tell me my year.
You really made that easy. I hope I can make yours as easy. Okay. 1991. Genesis, a game I've been trying to frame into an episode of Play Retro, because this may be post your time though.
Okay.
For this kind of stuff.
Well, I had a Genesis then that year. So.
Right, you had a Genesis, right?
Yeah. Well,
but the game style may have been.
I got you. That's possible because I'm like I'm 20 here. 20, it's like 21. Yeah, so I get it. All right. I'm old enough to drink. I don't want your damn Genesis game, is what I said. I never drank, though. All right, here it is. Let's play your audio. Is this based on a Disney property?
Oh, look at you. Yes, it is based on a Disney property. I was going to give you more hints, but since you took such a leap there.
Well, part of it is your hints earlier saying it may have grown out of it. I'll say that this. Oh, I know what this is. Is this Mickey's Castle of Illusion?
Oh, that's a very good guess, but I'm sorry. That was incorrect. Is that your second guess?
No, that's my first guess.
All right, first guess. All right.
So I'm one question down, one guess down. Because the question was it Disney? And you said yeah.
Right.
How else would this be from that era? Okay, second question. Is it a Mickey Mouse game?
No.
All right, so it's some other property.
Yeah.
What was going on then with other Disney games?
The Disney, the Disney Channel is doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just, I don't know if that'll help or not. It's just saying there was a lot of resurgence of Disney properties during that time.
Okay? Well, then I'll try this one. What are the two little stupid squirrels? One flies and the other one does other shit.
The chipmunks.
Chipmunk. Is it that?
What do they call them? Is that what? No, did not involve the happy little. They may be deep in the game. I can't say they're not, but they're not the center of the game. I can't say that they're not in there somewhere.
Okay. Then I'm going to say my only last guess is the only other thing I can think of from that era would be like DuckTales.
But people are yelling Chip and Dale, but it is not Chip and Dale.
It's not Chip and Dale?
That is the name of the characters, Rescue Rangers.
Is it DuckTales?
Oh, you was real close on that one. Yeah.
That's all my answer. That's all three. What is it?
Right. This is Quackshot.
Oh, geez.
One of the people have been trying to get me to play this one. This one's developed and published by Sega for the Sega Genesis.
Early, too, because 91 was the first year of the Genesis in the States.
Yeah. So early on, it's a platforming game with Donald Duck.
Yep.
And he's got his little Quackshot. He's got his little gun with his little plunger on it.
Is it fun?
What I played was pretty good.
Really?
I found that most of these, because they do a lot of stuff like environmental puzzles and little like platforming, and just the characters are always charming because they had the Disney animators, at least give them like probably sheets and stuff of
I think they had the spec
for the characters.
They had a certain spec you had to adhere to on how you would animate various characters and stuff. Like the Castle of Illusion, World of Illusion, and then the third one, something Illusion. Yeah, those Mickey games are all really great.
Now it did pretty good in the U.S. Critics liked it pretty good, not fantastic. But in the United Kingdom, Quackshot was the top-selling Mega Drive game upon release. Oh,
whoa!
Yes, everybody had to get some of that Donald.
What are they doing? It's because he doesn't wear pants. He doesn't wear any pants. They're into that over there.
He doesn't wear. Yeah, he's just got the safari shirt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know who's into that? The French. They're like, oh, he's not wearing pants. So
do you remember the Goof Troop and the Goofy movie and all that stuff?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I love the Goofy movie.
That was probably your kids, though, right? Your kids were
very young. They were all infants, basically. But I love the first Goofy movie. Mm-hmm. That thing was on repeat in my house.
So good.
Yeah, we liked it. I don't think I saw the second one very often. Saw it maybe once.
Right.
But the first one where they're trekking across the country so they can go see that freaking Don't Touch This Like artist. They're going to go see. He reminded me of something. Who's the guy that's who's the guy that's all in trouble for preying on young women? What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about it over at Nick or where is it?
No, the real guy, R. Kelly. It reminded me
the real people.
The guy they're going to see in the thing where Goofy and his son. Max,
okay, yeah. I got you.
He was like an R. Kelly type dude,
right?
Up there on stage, he had parachute pants and all that stupid stuff. And I'm pretty sure Pauly Shore was the best friend, right?
I believe you're right. Or was it a Pauly Shore sound-alike? I always forget.
I think it was him. Unless they maybe not in the sequel, but in the first one.
Sounded like, oh my god,
Goofy movie. Let's find out. Let's answer this question once and for all.
Let's answer this question for once and for all.
1995. That would have been. Oh yeah, my daughter. I only had one kid then. She was a year old, or a little less than a year. This would have been. Hold on. Bill Farmer is Goofy. Mason Marsden is Max Goof. Jim Cummings is Pete.
Max Goof.
Kelly, Paul Robson. Wallace Shawn is Principal Mauser. That's cool. Inconceivable. Frank Welker was in it as Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah, Frank Welker.
Why can't I find...
Because maybe he wasn't in it.
I swear he's in it.
It could have been.
Where's
or it could have
Pauly
been
Shore?
a knockoff. There was a lot of knockoffs.
No, there's no way.
Well, I'm going to order the clan. I'm ordering the, oh my God. Holy Moses. Boy, they really like their, okay, there we go. That's better. New and sealed. Okay, I was about to freak out, man, because I was looking on eBay for the VHS of a Goofy movie, and they're in its little clamshell boxes. But man, they were talking, the first ones are talking 35, 179. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Is this really not Pauly Shore? It's going to piss me off. Hold on.
I don't know. Is that, you thinking of the Goof Troop things, or are you talking about the Goofy Troop?
Goofy movie. First Goofy movie. Max and Goofy go cross country to watch this singer guy. And I swear this is it. I'm going to be so pissed. I'm going to go back to 95. Hold on.
Okay, wait. I'm just doing a search. There is a search. The first thing that comes up says Pauly Shore Goofy movie. Google search. 1995 film.
Is it him?
Yeah, he's there. Bobby Zimmerman. Is that Bobby Zimmerman?
You know what?
It's listing him.
It's not here, though. I'm looking in 1995. He made one movie that year, Jury Duty, that piece of shit. And there's no mention here at all that he's in that.
Yeah, he's definitely him, because he's definitely the friend. He's the Pauly Shore and Jason Marsden. So he's definitely in it. Yeah.
But he's not showing up in it at all. His credit is not in there on IMDb. I'm freaked out.
On IMDb?
I don't know what to believe.
Maybe he got it pulled. Maybe he's like, nah, don't get my name out of there. Get my name out of your goofy mouth.
Weird. He was born in 68. Crazy. All right. Well, there's that.
Don't wheeze the juice, Scott.
That's right. You got this.
I got
this.
The juice.
And now we move on to some listener feedback.
Welcome to the treasure room.
We got a phone call I'm going to play first. You want to hear this phone call? Oh, you know what? I'll do the phone call last. I'll do the email first.
All right. Well, they listed Joey Lawrence, but you're right. He's not listed on the main cast and crew.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I swear it's him.
It's him. He's definitely in it. But yeah,
are you sure?
Wow.
Because it says, okay, hold on. Goofy movie, Wikipedia, Pauly Shore,
and
plays Bobby Zimmerski. Okay. Pauly Shore. Okay.
Sure enough,
I'm looking at every single listing for the movie, and it says it's not him. But in all of all the results of the search, it says it is him. Hold on, Bobby Zimmerski.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby Zimmerski.
Bobby?
He was this. He had weird, he made that cheese castle while they're waiting for the principal.
Yeah, and he's got the cheese poof all over his face or whatever it is.
Yeah. I swear I'm gonna lose my mind. I feel like I'm having a major Mandela moment here.
Well, it's listed in one screenshot on the IMDb. Here, I'll put it in the Discord server if I can, if it'll let me. Let me see.
You guys, I figure I'm going insane. I watched that movie so many times. It has always been Bobby.
Why is it not?
Okay, Goofy movie says.
Now that is a screenshot that then has a subtitle of Pauly Shore.
Yes.
But that is the only reference I'm seeing. Now, Google lists him, if you do the Goofy movie, he lists him on the list of characters, or the cast of characters.
He's not
there.
listed
but
on
IMDb is like got no reference
None.
except for that one place.
They don't even have that character cast.
Yeah, they don't even have the character listed.
What
Somebody's
is-
a
what-
Pauly Shore hater.
What?
Oh, boy.
Something's going on. Something weird's going on. Someone needs to work this one out for me. 'Cause
Now
this
I've
is
got to
pissing
order
me
the
off.
Goofy movie. Now I've got to order it.
Have you never seen
What choice do I have? No, I've seen it. I've seen
Oh.
it plenty of times. I don't have the videotape anymore. I used to have it in the clamshell box and everything. Oh, I also got Bebe's Kids. Did you ever see that one?
No.
Whatever. We were supposed to be doing wrapping this thing up.
I know, dude. Well, okay, I haven't found a line. You want to hear this?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Wait. Oh, shit.
I'm wheezing the juice.
I'm muted.
She finally says hi to me, and what do I do?
Okay, skip around.
Hey, you big spag.
Okay, hold on.
My dad. Are you Pete?
Okay, not him.
Bobby.
Here he is.
Wow, look, all this is for us?
Slurpage.
It's totally him. Pauly Shore is in this effing movie. I'm going to take a dump in my pants.
Right.
I don't know what to make of this. All right. Let's move on then and try to forget this horrible thing is going on. Hayes Skunk wrote in. Hayes Skunk. He sent an email to playretroshow@gmail.com. He says, hello, Retro. Have you guys been paying attention to what's going on with limited run games? They've been apparently putting a lot of time into their Carbon engine and bringing a lot of old retro games back for modern systems. I was completely unaware of this until I heard about it on YouTube. I haven't been listening that long, but I haven't heard you guys mention this and was curious what your thoughts were. I thought about sending this email to Core since I'm a patron, but I think it's more up your alley. Well, you're right, Hayes Skunk.
Agreed. This is right up our hoo-ha.
I don't know a thing about the Carbon engine other than I've heard of it.
Yes.
But I don't know.
We actually talked a little bit about it, and I did a little bit of research when we did the Gex episode. They're re-releasing or set up to re-release the Gex trilogy, and it's going to be using the Carbon engine. I did a little bit of research, and it's a very interesting engine. Basically, all you have to do is just it puts all the game mechanics that you would have in this era of games, and you just put the assets in there. It's a really interesting project.
It says created internally at limited run games. Carbon Engine is a multi-platform development tool that helps emulators interface with modern hardware. It uses emulation as a base, on top of which the Carbon Engine builds features like UI, rendering, audio, data management, controller inputs, and console-specific features like trophies and so on. It allows limited run to put out highly accurate emulation-based ports of classic games on modern hardware.
Yes.
For some reason, half of their cool description here is covered with a giant graphic.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting game because I believe, if I remember correctly, one of the selling points is it's cross-platform. You can put it on, the consoles, PCs, wherever. But it's a really interesting project.
It's super interesting. I want to see how this all pans out. But look at this graphic. It's laying on top of all this paragraph I can't read because it's behind it.
Oh, I hate that crap. Maybe they should get a a Carbon engine for their website.
I was just gonna say, throw your website on the Carbon engine, see how it works.
Right.
What the frick? That's so dumb. Anyway, you can learn more at limitedgames.com.
I mean, I don't think there's anything we can do that is wrong on the Duke Nukem episode. I don't think there's anything.
No, he burps in the game.
Right. I think it's all on brand for this week's episode. I
had some spinach ravioli that is not.
Oh my God! Both sounds disgusting and delicious.
It was actually pretty good. It was pretty good.
How much cheese is involved with that, though? I need to know if there's
not a ton actually. It's not like a big gooey cheese. It's like a ricotta sort of stuff in the middle.
Oh,
but then I also put kimchi with it. The kimchi might be the problem.
Oh, it's a kimchi. Oh, kimchi's always the problem.
I put kimchi on everything, though, dude.
Well, yeah, it's delicious, but it's also a gastrointestinal nightmare, right? Because it's like,
if you eat too much of it, yes. But if you don't, if you eat just like kind of, as part
like
of your
a
meal,
spoonful.
No, a little more than that. Eat it with just like part of your meal, not by itself. It's good. It's great for your gut health. It's awesome. I love it. It's like fermented. So good. Anyway, you make good poos is what I'm saying. All right. That's what I'm saying. Thank you for that. We're going to play a call here. This is about, what is this about? Oh, Simpsons Hit and Run. We get a little follow-up.
Oh, yeah.
From Hootie42. He's a local.
Oh, I know Hootie. As a matter of fact, I've been enjoying my my VHSs on what Hootie42 sent me. Was nice.
That's right.
He sent me that TVD VCR last week, so enjoying that.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he lives here locally, total Utah guy. He's great. Totally cool dude. Anyway.
You know how much it costs to ship a VCR from Utah to South Carolina?
I have no idea.
Cheap.
Is it expensive? I don't know how.
Well, yeah, these things weigh a ton, man. Weigh a ton. I remember I spent like and this apparently from South Carolina to Utah is expensive anyway. I remember I sent you like a box of cereal one time, some Mario cereal, and it was only like however much a box of cereal weighs, which is nothing, right? It's like puffed whatever.
You guys can't see it, but I have
$20 or something.
I have that hanging on my wall because I like that so much.
Yeah, it was like $20 to ship that thing, way more than the freaking box of cereal cost.
$20.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, "What for a box of cereal? Get out of here!"
Yeah, what world is this? Well, anyway, this is what Hootie42 has to say.
This is for Play Retro for the Simpsons Hit and Run episode. And I had a quick correction for you. There was a PC version. I spent many hours during college playing.
Now, real quick, we did, at the end of that episode, we did talk about there being a PC version. He knows that we've done that since.
But I could be wrong. But I'm
pretty sure we did.
Have,
well, he wrote me back and says, I think you talked about it, so this is maybe a useless phone call, but I think there's still stuff in here to mine. Okay, so anyway,
it needs repeating.
It does. Here it is again. Not again, but more. Why isn't it unpausing?
Playing it in glorious 1024 by 768, and yeah, that was the main thing. Just also had to comment. You know, that game had just some amazing deep cuts. Things like you could drive the front car of the monorail, and if you drove it around long enough to find a little repair wrench, it would actually function like a normal car instead of a broken one. And stuff like Chester J. Lampwick's rocket car. He's the guy that sued Roger Myers Jr., said that he originally created Itchy and Scratchy, and and he got all the money out of rocket car. It's parked in front of his house in the rich part of town on the map, and fastest car in the game, but also explodes at the slightest touch. So anyway, just wanted to bring that up. And if you need proof of the PC version, Scott, if you and I ever meet up for lunch, I'll bring my copy so you can see it.
Oh, wow. He's got the
great
real.
Show, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.
Yeah, if he still I want to see it.
That's awesome. I want to see it, snag it, and pretend like you never brought it.
Yeah, you're gonna pretend like that thing I put back in your bag was the disc, but it wasn't.
Right, I gotta pretend. Else. Yeah, exactly. Like that StarCraft with the bag of weed in it.
The bag of weed you got with your last Star Trek buy. That's so funny, dude. I love that you found weed in some retro game stuff. I think that's great.
Like I said, I don't know. In some ways, I'm like, man, that would have made great content. Get out to the car and TikTok that thing. Also, I'd have weed in my car, so that's probably not a good thing.
You live in a state where this is not legal. Right, but what you could have done is got out there, filmed the whole thing, went, holy crap, took it back in, or if take it to a cop, whatever, and say, this was in something I bought here, and you'd have been fine.
That sounds like a guaranteed way to get beat up.
but why would anyone offer that up if
officer, look what I found. Get down.
Face down, jerk.
I'm not taking that chance. No, thank you.
Well, never forget this. Where is it? Right here.
But now Hootie makes me want to go back
every day. Dude, Hootie makes me want to go to lunch. Is what he makes me want.
Makes me want to go back and play the more of the Simpsons, because man, I tell you that was, I haven't had that deep of an Simpsons experience in quite a while, and it was so fun running around the streets of Springfield and doing all that.
It's amazing. That game rocks. Yeah, I re-put it on my. I shouldn't say install, because all you have to do is move the ROM around. But I moved the ROM back on my Steam Deck because I'd forgotten I'd moved it off when I reset for the fix on the stick.
Oh, the fix on the stick.
I just never put it back on, so it's back on there. I'm gonna play it again, baby. Woo!
So a little follow up to the Goofy movie. Bobby Zamuruski. Chat room had said earlier that Polly did not want Disney to exploit him like they did Robin Williams, and so he asked for his name to be removed. I don't know, that may be one of those things, like everything was going to be played by Sylvester Stallone. I don't know.
I kind of want to
Maybe.
know now. I want the story
But-
on that.
Did you see that eBay thing I sent you? I see while looking for that VHS for the Goofy movie.
No, let's see.
There is a print on there, and they're asking for $375
Holy
for a
shit.
cheese
Oh, this is a
holding
cell. It's a
Bobby
animation cell,
Zermouski.
right?
Yeah. Look at that.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And Jim DeFrank has only had one cell. I don't think so, Jim DeFrank.
Wow. Yeah, if you've got one sale and this is your first one and you're asking me for $400 almost dollars? No.
Yeah, let me tell you what you do on eBay. You better be selling some small trash stuff with low risk before you start offering up that kind of stuff with one review. No
Yeah.
thanks.
Eat a poop. I ain't doing that.
Eat a poop. Eat a poop.
Eat a poop. All right. Hey, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think these three people have in common? Joe Weaver, MacBook Pro, and Michael Sheridan. What do you think those three people have in common?
One's a MacBook Pro is a people.
He has his nickname. It's the guy's nickname. The other two are actual names.
Gotcha.
I'll tell you what.
These are okay. These are the these are the most awesome people on the planet.
Yes.
Did I get it?
You got it right. That's why.
Okay.
That is exactly why I did it. And let me tell you why they're so great. Because they are patrons, regular month-to-month patrons over at patreon.com/playretro. And you can be too, because you also don't want commercials. You also want pre-show content every week. And guess what else? Other monthly benefits you can go read about right now at patreon.com/playretro. Be like Joe, Michael, and MacBook Pro. Okay? It's going to do it for us. Next week, we're talking about Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3.
What?
1,
How
2, and
timely
3.
of us to do the Tomb Raider.
Do you know why we're doing it? Because they're having a 30 year? What's the anniversary? Crap. Hold on.
It's I think it's now you got me questioning my
96
what I did
out.
it for.
Came out in 96, so
25
years.
No,
wait.
no,
That's not right.
23. No.
What is it? Because I know they're doing it.
The reason why we're doing it is because the Tomb Raider trilogy, the first 1, 2, and 3, are being remastered and going to be sold for the consoles in February 2024, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they are doing that for sure. And I guess it's not really
right.
tied to an anniversary. They're just doing it.
Right. And also is just 3 hours ago, Embracer Group lays off hit Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics.
Whoa. I thought
Tomb Raider developer Crystal. Yeah, this was just a few hours ago or a couple of days ago, maybe, or just a couple hours ago. Had lost her job as part of an internal restructure. Wow, this is really hot news. This is hot off the presses, apparently.
Yeah, so they've been doing this left and right for the last 3 weeks or so, and so I'm not surprised to hear it, but I am a little surprised to hear that. So this studio, Square Enix owned them. Then
Right.
They sold them to Embracer less than a quarter ago or something.
Yeah. Embracer Group trying to pare down some stuff. 10
down
people
everything.
lost their jobs, right?
So just 10, not like the whole company.
Yeah. That's a pretty small. I
mean, no offense to those 10. I'm sorry that y'all.
No. That's it's a huge impact if you're part of that 10. If you're one of those 10, huge impact.
Because rumor was they were working on a new Tomb Raider, and this would be their first one outside of Eidos / Final Fantasy publisher.
Yeah, so it's one for Amazon. So I'm pretty sure if you got a deal with Amazon, yeah, they might be. We'll see. Maybe
Just
it's something.
cutting back.
Probably some. They'll land on their feet. I think they'll land on their feet.
I hope so, dude. I don't like the Embracer Group, but they should be called the non-Embracer Group, the Abrasive Group.
That was the bad thing when they were coming along, and a lot of these companies were struggling. Embracer Group was re-injecting money into these companies, and I guess they finally reached a limit, and now they're paring back down. And so, I don't know. It's rough. It's rough. I don't like it. I don't care for it.
Makes me want to pee on their sandwich. You know. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Well, anyway, Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3. That's happening next week. Okay, the early stuff. We're talking like originally it was supposed to be a Saturn game, but then
Low poly.
So then freaking what's their names came. Sony came in and said, "Hey, we have a popular console," and they went, "Shit, we got to put it out on everything." And then it became a worldwide phenomenon. Tomb Raider's huge. So we're going to talk about it and
if you want to play along with us, you can either emulate yourself, or if you want to just go to Good Old Games, they are selling Tomb Raiders 1, 2, and 3 together for $9.99.
Oh, that's not bad.
A little up resing probably on that. Some of those are usually pretty good. So
they did a remaster of that game originally too for what was that, PS2 era maybe?
Yeah, was it PSP? PS2?
PSP maybe. Can't remember. But anyway, we'll learn all of that and talk about it next week right here on Play Retro. That is going to do it for us. All of you out there that can hear my voice, I want you to go this week and play something retro, and we'll see you next time.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Call me now for your free whipping.